You all want to start making your way to a seat? We'll get going in about a minute, I guess, or so, or as I see people coming on in. I think I do have some slides for the business meeting. There they go. Hi. Oh. So I'm sad to say that we did lose a past president this past year. William Bill Saucer passed away in September of 2022 at the age of 88. He was in practice for 60 years as a thoracic surgeon in St. Louis. And I read his obituary today and just went through the website and just some fantastic comments by colleagues and patients about Dr. Saucer. So I'd like to take a moment of silence for him. Thank you. So the meeting minutes were sent out as an email looking for a move for approval. And second, all in favor? Any opposed? Thank you. Hope I'm doing Robert's rules right. I think that Dr. McIntyre knows them well and by heart. So really nothing as a past president that I have to report other than we did a great job at this meeting, 313 in attendance this year. So thank you all for coming and bringing your residents, medical students, advanced practice providers. We even had a paramedic who's a medical student this year. So thank you all for this great attendance. And thank you so much for, that's not the next one. So as you all know, that this has been recorded, it's been live streamed. You can go back if you missed some of the content that you would like to look at from any of the quick shots. If you were down here and it was up in the hacienda, that you can go back for the next 3 months and be able to look at those. And just please keep on the social media and hashtag us and tell others about how great this meeting was, except I think there's also somebody else that's using hashtag SWSC, and it's something like frozen people swimming or something like that. If you look at that, Mary Brandt posted that, but it's somewhere in Norway. I think they're diving into frozen water. So, and again, thank you to Dr. Kaubs. It's been a great meeting. So. I think I know you have fulfilled everything I charged you with as to some great science and, tailored for everybody, our academic surgeons and our rural surgeons and our non-academic surgeons. So thank you very much. And the next thing, a new award. I threatened that I was after your job, but I didn't mean it. I'm not going to take your job, but come on up. We have a wonderful, wonderful statue award with sincere, I can't read it, with sincere appreciation and gratitude for your photography service for Southwest Surgical Congress. Ronald Stewart, MD, Ojai Valley, 2023. Okay, Gail, you want to come to a microphone, either up here or one of the, and give us a treasurer report.
Okay. This is our assets. You can see that it's slowly risen, and then with COVID and everything in the market, we have a little drop, but we're still doing very well. Next. This is our current account balances. It's a little behind previous years, but It doesn't include all of the registration fees from this meeting, but we put an outlay to this hotel before, because we're going to have it during COVID. So that the cost has already been paid, but we don't have all the income yet from that. So we should do pretty well. Any questions? No? Okay.
Okay. Dr. Kaups. Sure.
Okay, great.
We had two of them up here at one time, but I can click.
Anyway, so next slide, please. We had great abstract submission. I was reminded, you saw there was a drop off going to Maui. Remember that drop off for Phoenix. Remember that the Maui meeting was in September. The Phoenix meeting was in April. It was a quick turnaround time frame. So it's good. We're working our way back to pre-pandemic levels. I think next year going to New Mexico, we're going to have even more. So great abstract submission. Next, please. For the oral presentations and the quick shots and the mini orals, we tried to keep it balanced. We had a little bit of backfilling to do, but what I also was impressive is the wide range of places. It really, for being the Southwestern Surgical, those people from North Carolina have had a bit of a presence. We've had a good spread, which is really what we want. We want to hear from everyone's viewpoints. Next slide. Why do we even call them slides anymore? There's those of us who remember that, what do you call it? The carousels. Thank you.
Very true.
Carousels. And you watch somebody drop it, and then they had like slide aphasia because they couldn't talk. So the images, important things. You've got a 1 month deadline to claim your CME. You wouldn't want to have all this knowledge that you're not getting CME credit for. So please do it. Oops. Emails they should be being sent out by the ladies who know everything. They're sending daily infos out. I will confirm. And, but they should be coming out to you with.
I think
with
it's
links.
also in the app. So if you go to the CVent, if you go to the app
Tom, I
and
got your hand.
go to the menu, there should be a CME button that you can push there also. Yes, yes. It'll just be a little different because current, you want me to go with that, Krista? Okay. I think it's going to be a little different. You used to put your ACS number in. Now you need to put your name, and it might be your birth date. I can't remember. And then your ABS number. You'll have to, and you can get your American Board of Surgery number by going to the American Board of Surgery website, putting your name in there and your password and finding out your number there.
It'll be something new to learn. I think a number of us knew our ACS numbers, and I don't know my ABS number, but anyway, yes. Thank you for asking. That was a great question. You can see all the stuff there. 1 month deadline.
Yeah, it's shortened since it's the ABS, since we've gone away from the ACS where it used to be whatever, 3 or 6 months. So just, I'm one of those chronic people that doesn't wait till the last minute on the last email. So I think, will you be sending us out email reminders? Yep, we'll get them.
Please, 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 please. All right.
Yeah.
And I believe that's my last
I think that's your last slide.
Great.
Dr. Sure. Do you have a slide? I think.
I think I have,
Yes.
I won't call it a slide.
What do you call it?
I have information projected on the screen in front of you.
Information projected.
Yes. So as I hope all of you know, because you check your email so diligently, there's bylaw amendment that was sent out. And basically, we're going to amend the bylaws, or the goal is to amend the bylaws to change from having state counselors to having a council member or 2 council members at large. The idea is not to limit state participation. It's more of, I think there was some issues trying to ensure that each state was represented. And so by having these 2 counselors at large, we'll still be able to have representation. When particular states are needed to be called on, we can call people that we know are active in the membership to try to ensure that we've got appropriate representation. I think this is going to require a vote
Mhm.
in all the words that you say for that.
So I'll need a motion to accept this. Yeah, comment, sure.
I heard about this at the grapevine. I'm fully supportive of everything you guys are doing. But if this is the case and there is concern for reduced engagement, because that they gave more people a seat at the table, then maybe there's a way to improve engagement from young surgeons with a different avenue. And so one thing that I was thinking about is you have all these other committees, could you make like a young surgeon committee? And within that young surgeon committee, could you give them control of one of the symposiums where they get to generate the content, they get to pick the speakers as a part of the committee's charge? That might be a way to encourage engagement from the younger faculty who could unintentionally misinterpret this as a way of reducing their voice. So I just wanted to say that before we
Sure,
vote on it. So.
Sure. I'm going to I'll pass that on to Dr. Tom White, who will announce soon when it will be our next incoming president. So think of another way to engage young people, because as you saw in my presidential address, I was one of the state counselors. That's how I got involved in this, and then would go to the meetings and be vocal about some suggestions and things like that. So I think that is a good way to have engagement. So yeah, thank you for that suggestion. So a motion to accept this as two at-large counselors and not have state counselors at this time. Second. All in favor? Aye. Any opposed? Thank you, Dr. Scheer.
Thank you.
Okay, Dr. Chow, welcome in person. He was double doing.
So from a membership standpoint, you can see the numbers of where we are right now. So you can see the number of senior, which is just a little bit under half, but then quite a few active, and then the APP section is also growing. We have had a few new associate members. Next. And so you can actually see this is where we are right now. I know I've had a lot of discussions with some people while we've been here, so would encourage everybody as you talk to some of the trainees and others that you have tonight to encourage other people to join even as associate members. But we've had a lot of great presentations across the board. I would like to recognize all of the new members that are up here, but again, we're glad that you guys have joined and look forward to your participation. Are any of the new members here? Would love, actually, for all of you guys, let's all give them a round of applause.
And please.
And we would, I'd invite you guys to all come up here if we can get a photo, just with all the new members. So thank you guys for joining.
We've given the certificates
Right now,
as they registered. So do we want the picture now or as soon as we're finished?
Yeah, so I think, right, or we can just do it right at the end. How about? So.
Yeah, so please, new members, stick around till we are finished and we'll come up and we'll have a picture in front of the seal and all that. Great.
All right. Any questions? Thank you.
Thank you. New member photo after the session. Okay. Dr. Raines, the ACS Advisory Council for General Surgery.
Hey, everybody. For those who don't know me, I'm Alex Raines, University of Oklahoma. I'm very honored to represent us through the ACS. So with this position, I sit on the Advisory Council for General Surgery. We met most recently in October at the council. I won't go over all the agenda items. Dr. Sutherland did a much better job than I could overviewing the ACS and what they represent yesterday. There's just three things I'll highlight. One, he mentioned, in terms of recruiting new members in the ACS, there's some really neat initiatives for new members, and that is 3 free years of disability insurance, like truly free, like no strings attached. It's pretty amazing. So a lot of us work with graduates, and so encourage them to take advantage of that as they finish either their residency or their fellowship, so new trainees. The second thing, some really neat highlights yesterday in terms of the DEI initiatives through the ACS. They're putting together toolkits and ways that we can use those resources. I know in our state, in Oklahoma, our state chapter are creating new DEI and women in surgery committees. I'm really excited for that for our state. I'm going to be learning a lot about the resources ACS has through DEI and women in surgery as we create those. So if there's anyone else in the room that wants to learn with me and maybe grow those aspects for your state as well, we can do that together. And then the third thing to highlight, it's really exciting, is we've been working with the ACS. They have a regional anesthesia workshop that they basically have all put together, and they can move from site to site. We are looking to have a Southwestern surgical offering sometime throughout the year that's not the state meeting. So it's a really cool way for us to get connected throughout the year outside of this meeting. We don't have the exact plans or dates set, but be on the lookout for those. And we'll be offering that sometime. I don't think it'd be helpful. And any questions you have for ACS, please find me. And again, I appreciate the opportunity to represent you all.
Barb, yeah. So the ACS Board of Governors.
So I'll just talk briefly, just to kind of review. It took me a long time to actually even understand how the ACS actually it works and its organizational chart. So I put it here just so people actually understand. As a Board of Governors, we actually report to the regents, and the Board of Governors is actually divided into these different pillars: advocacy, communications, diversity, education, and member services pillar. And as governors, we then are actually placed into one of these work groups, and there's a number of work groups per each pillar. Next slide. And you can see in each pillar, there's a number of work groups. And to be honest, I missed our meeting this week, which would have been Saturday, kind of an update of what everybody's doing right now. But as you can see, each different pillar has a charge of what they do. I know my pillar the best, and I know my actually work group the best. Since I'm the chair of my work group, then I have to know it because I have to make the agenda. So you can see I'm part of the quality pillar, and I'm actually the chair of the best practices group. But it could show you also what happens underneath each of these pillars. And currently each group is doing a bunch of stuff and would take too long to go through. As a best practices work group, we're actually doing a top 3 project, meaning taking the top 3 best papers from different journals and summarizing them, making little sound bites so you can have them just to kind of help stay up on the literature through multiple of our different specialties. We are also revamping the evidence-based modules. I don't know if anyone has used those, but some parts have not been updated for some time. And so we're actually in the process of redoing that currently. And I won't, this kind of shows you, I could show that, and then I think that's it for my slides. This kind of shows you how many governors there are. It's a bunch of people from a bunch of different ways. Some are actually nominated like me through a society. Some actually come from the state. Most are male, 66 are female. Some are in the first or second term. I'm currently in my second term, so I'm going to age out. We have a number of countries representative, and I know on my committee we have always had someone representative from a different country, various specialties. So I think the majority are general surgery or general surgery based in those, or general surgery subspecialties. And unfortunately, most of them are older, but we have other groups that are actually more representative for our young members. Any questions from the Board of Governors? Okay.
We get through them all. Peter Angelos, thank you.
If you could go to the next image, please.
Yes,
Thank you.
image.
Okay, so, yeah, exactly. It's Krista's
Thanks,
fault.
Krista.
We blame Krista.
Everybody who comes up from now on has to have a new term on how to say
So
this.
my name is Peter Angelos. It's an honor for me to represent this organization at the American Board of Surgery. The great thing about this organization is there are several members who are on the board as counselors or members of the boards. And so I'm going to just give you a very brief, as you heard, CME self-reporting from the American College of Surgeons is ending, and it'll be directly with the board. And so that's why you're going to need your board number, but that's easy to do. I even was able to do it a couple days ago. That is part of a desire to reduce the burden on surgeons, and that's part of a wellness initiative, although most people don't equate continuous certification with wellness. That's part of the idea here, is to reduce the burden. EPAs, I think you heard a lot about from Joe Beisky, and certainly is the wave of the future and something that we're working towards. The ABMS has new standards for continuing certification, which will require some changes on the part of the board in terms of quality and quality reporting on our part, but that is yet to be defined, so I can't give you more details at this point. There is a focused practice designation that now people in bariatric and metabolic surgery can take and have done. Some of you may have already done it. There is one that has now been approved and is in the process of having the exam written for a focused practice designation in adult complex thyroid and parathyroid surgery. So I'm happy to give people more details about that if you'd like. There have been, I think, some very valuable statements from the board about misinformation, especially in the worst of COVID, and how deliberately providing misinformation to the public can put one's board certification in jeopardy. There is a due process to go through that. And there was, I think, a very well crafted statement on gun violence. Dr. Kops can give you a lot more detail about that. I'm happy to answer any questions.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Rob Todd, is he here? Or no Rob Todd? So I'll do this. So for Vice President, Sharmila Deskanaki. And Sharmila had to leave a little bit early to get to the American also. So, and then for President-elect, Dr. Walter Biffle. And for our new Southwest Surgical Congress President, Dr. Tom White. I think so. Oh, any nominations from the floor? Wait a minute. I got ahead of myself. Motion to accept this slate of nominations. So moved. Any opposed? All in favor? I went backwards. Woohoo! All right, now is the passing of the gavel. God, I looked at these slides like an hour ago. We used to have people escort them up. I am glad that we have got rid of that. So.
Can I say two things?
Personal gavel. Yes.
Can I? Congratulations, Roxy. You did a great job. I really only have two goals for this next year. I just never want to hear anybody say, gosh, I wish Roxy was still the president, or I can't wait until Walt's the president. So if I can get through the year without those two things happening, it'll be successful. But you've set a new standard, and leadership for this organization, and I'm really proud to be and honored to be asked to be the president. So thank you.
Before I want to say one thing, I think Tom and I first met when I did his site visit way back when he was in Scotts Bluff, Nebraska. As,
I think you failed us.
no, I didn't. You passed.
Where does this actually go?
It's good.
Back
They're
to
gonna,
the
they'll
ladies?
ship it back to you, ship it to you.
They do, really?
Yeah, this is gonna be yours.
Wow.
Wow.
So cool.
Yeah,
Okay.
it's so
I
cool.
can't wait. Thanks.
Okay, I think that ends the business meeting. And we're gonna have our photo, and can we have a nice area for the photo, or do we want it outside? We're gonna meet by the door. Thank you all.